Hello and good evening to everyone. I am Rupsha, a chemical engineer by profession working in the nuclear energy sector in India. I have to begin by thanking Isabella for inviting me to be a part of this event, to be her guest at this round table. While I do not directly represent the shipping industry, which is why probably I had a lot of doubts about what value I could possibly add to this gathering, which already has so many talented and experienced ladies from the shipping sector directly. But the fact is that the energy transition, the clean energy programs, and the need to have more women leading and shaping this transition are themes that are very close to me, very close to my heart. So finally, I had to give in to her invitation, and here I am today. So, coming to my specific journey, this all started in 2005 when I joined an undergraduate program in chemical engineering. It became progressively clear to me that all spheres of human activity actually depended on energy. Its availability, its accessibility, and its affordability were the most important factors for development, for progress. Of course, at that time, I did not know that I would finally be working in the energy sector in one form, but I believe that the desire to be a part of something that enables so many other sectors, that enables so much development and progress, this was always there. And I think it is true for a large number of people who finally do end up in this domain. So the need for energy and the need for this energy to be clean and sustainable, this became even more apparent when I joined the nuclear industry after finishing grad school in 2011. Once I started working, I started looking at how nuclear energy is more than just electricity. It has a number of non-electric applications that supports and complements so many other sectors that enable sustainable development, that leads to climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts. And I'm really glad that I am a part of this journey, part of this sector. More specifically, currently I am looking at nuclear hydrogen production via electrolysis and the use of this hydrogen in many ways, as a carbon emissions free fuel, as an energy carrier, as a feedstock to a number of industries which are still dependent on fossil fuels, which are very energy intensive, which are strong emitters of carbon dioxide, as a method to dispatch clean renewable energy, as a complement to battery based energy storage, electricity storage, and more importantly, as an alternate technology to electrification in sectors such as aviation and shipping, which are not very well served by electrification even now. Through my research work, I am trying to create new value chains for hydrogen, particularly in the Indian context, and where hydrogen energy is still quite far from being commercialized. The recent flood of hydrogen strategies and plans announced by a number of countries, the European Union, for example, many individual countries in Europe, outside of Europe by, let's say, Scotland, Japan, Chile, Canada, these are huge sources of encouragement to me because it shows that hydrogen indeed is getting its due now, and that the work I do, that the work I hope to continue doing for the rest of my career also, will enable India's own hydrogen energy programs to be realized. It will be a part of India's clean energy transition. So that's very inspiring to me. The climate crisis is huge and it is progressively going to get worse if we don't take action now. And like with every other crisis, the role of women in managing the crisis, in averting far worse outcomes, this cannot be denied anywhere. If anything, the COVID 19 pandemic has shown us that countries led by women leaders, they have fared much, much better. And they have managed this health crisis much better than many other countries. And I think that the climate crisis will also similarly benefit from having more women at the forefront in every sector that contributes to climate change. I think the same women will now contribute to climate action. While we already have a higher level of empathy, higher emotional intelligence, these are well known, these are well accepted. Our technical, our managerial skills, our domain knowledge, these also should not be undermined by those in positions of power. because it is a collective effort that will ultimately change the course of human history as we know it now. The shipping industry, which supports so many facets of life as we know it today, be it through trade of finished goods or be it through the trade and exchange of commodities like crude oil, natural gas, metal ores, polymers, this industry is also no exception. The next decade, which is just a day away from now, this has been designated as the United Nations decade of sustainable ocean economy as well. And the shipping industry is one of those major forces that enable ocean economy, to support life on land as well. Therefore, creating a sustainable, clean energy based shipping sector is crucial to meeting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and so much more. In the course of the last few months, the shipping industry, the maritime sector, has seen so many exciting developments. We now have growing interest in hydrogen based shipping in place of diesel or other hydrocarbon fuels. We have discussions about ammonia as a fuel for shipping as well. We have nuclear powered shipping coming up as a major concept. Nuclear powered ships have been around for a long time, but they may not have participated in active trade and commerce. And I'm sure that all these alternative ways of ensuring that shipping industry is sustainable and is a part of sustainable future, these will become reality very soon. I'm very hopeful of that. Given that we have enormous momentum in this field now, I think it is the right time for more women to embark on their own clean energy careers, contribute to the shipping sector and other domains which are part of supporting mankind's future. And I think you will have a lot of opportunities, and this is a time of flux. New things are constantly coming up, new knowledge is constantly being shared around the world, new developments are taking place every day. And I think alongside your regular academic programs, your academic careers, or your careers in whatever sector that you belong to, it is very important that you keep yourselves updated about these latest developments, you keep yourselves aligned with whatever is happening, you network with the right people, you gather knowledge from the right sources. And I would strongly urge you to use even LinkedIn as a very, very useful tool for networking, for keeping yourselves updated, for learning more and more. And there really are a number of great resources that are shared by the people on LinkedIn and similar networking platforms. It is very encouraging, it is heartening, and this sort of an event also encourages me in trying to do more, in trying to be more through the work that I do. And I think that more such events are necessary. More such events are necessary to bring a large number of people together and enable them to network, to share their knowledge with each other, and to help each other progress and contribute to the clean energy revolution in diverse ways. So with this, I wish all of you a very happy new year 2021. I hope this turns out better than that for the others. And I wish that more such events take place in future that enable women to get their due role and their position in the clean energy revolution. Thank you so much.